Hello, my name is Harvey and today we will learn about quadrilaterals. But before we learn about the shapes under quadrilaterals, we should first know the meaning of quadrilateral. So what is quadrilateral? Quadrilateral is a closed two-dimensional shape which has 4 straight sides and has 4 vertices or corners. The shapes under quadrilateral are square, rectangle, parallelogram, rhombus, trapezoid, and kite. As you can see, those shapes have 4 straight sides and they also have 4 vertices or corners. Square, rectangle, and rhombus are special types of parallelogram because they have 2 pairs of parallel sides. A square is a parallelogram whose sides are all congruent and whose angles are all congruent. A rectangle is a parallelogram whose angles are all congruent. And a rhombus is a parallelogram whose sides are all congruent. Even though square, rectangle, and rhombus are special types of parallelogram, they are still called quadrilateral because they have 4 straight sides and they also have 4 vertices or corners. Now that we know the description of quadrilateral and the shapes under quadrilateral, let's now discuss the definitions, properties, and characteristics of every shapes under quadrilateral. Let's start with the square. Definition of square. Square is a quadrilateral with 4 congruent sides, meaning all 4 sides of a square are all congruent or equal, and all 4 angles of square are all congruent. The angles of square are at right angle or equal to 90 degrees. Properties of square. All the angles of square are 90 degrees or at right angle. All sides of a square are equal and parallel to each other. Like I said a while ago, all sides of square are all congruent or equal. The diagonals of the square are equal and bisect each other at 90 degrees. As you can see in this picture, diagonals bisect each other, meaning each diagonal cuts the other into 2 equal parts. The diagonals are the dotted lines that you see in the middle of the square. Those diagonals bisect each other at 90 degrees. Side AB is equals to side BC is equals to side CD is equals to side AD because all sides of square are all congruent. Angle A is equals to angle B is equals to angle C is equals to angle D is equals to 90 degrees. Square is always at a right angle or at 90 degrees. Next is rectangle. Definition of rectangle. A rectangle has 4 sides and all corners are all in 90-degree angles or right angle. Each side of a rectangle is the same length as the one opposite to it, meaning that this side, the opposite of this side, is this side, meaning they have the same length, and this side, the opposite of it, is this side, meaning they are the same length. Properties of rectangle. All the angles of a rectangle are 90 degrees or always at an right angle. Opposite sides of a rectangle are equal and parallel, like I said a while ago, and diagonals of a rectangle bisect each other. As you can see in this picture, the diagonals bisect each other. The opposite sides are AB, or side AB is equals to side CD because they are opposite. Side AD, this one, is opposite to side BC, meaning they have the same length. The diagonals AO is equals to OC and DO is equals to OB. Angles are angle A is equals to angle B is equals to angle C is equals to angle D. It's like square because all angles are equals to right angle or at 90 degrees. Next is parallelogram. As you can see, rectangle and parallelogram are almost the same, but parallelogram is in a slanted form. Definition of parallelogram. A parallelogram has four sides and opposite sides that are equal and parallel. It's like rectangle a while ago. Side AD is equals to side BC because side AD, the opposite of it, is the side BC. The opposite of side AB is the side DC, meaning they have the same length. It has two pairs of parallel sides. Yes, side AD and side BC, which makes one pair. Side AB and side DC makes two pairs. The opposite angles in a parallelogram are equal and thereby diagonals bisect each other, meaning that the angle A is equal to angle C because the opposite angle of angle A is angle C. The opposite of angle B is angle D. You can also see the lines here are double and the lines here are double, meaning that if they have the same lines, they are equal. Angle A has only one line. Angle C has only one line, meaning they are equal to each other. You can also see it in the middle of the sides there. Properties of parallelogram. Opposite sides are equal. Yes, opposite sides are parallel. Diagonals bisect each other, as you can see in the picture, and sum of any two adjacent angles is 180 degrees. Adjacent angle are two angles that have a common vertex and a common side but do not overlap. As you can see, the diagonals bisect each other. Side AB is equals to side CD because the opposite of the side AB is side CD, and BC is equals to side AD because the opposite side of AD is side BC. Diagonals AO is equals to AOC and DO is equals to OB. In angles, angle A is equals to angle C because the opposite of angle A is angle C. And angle B is equals to angle D because the opposite of angle B is angle D. Next is rhombus. As you can see, rhombus is like square, but rhombus is in a slanted form. Definition of rhombus. A quadrilateral whose all four sides are equal in length and opposite sides are parallel. It's like square, all sides are equal in length, but the angles are not equal to 90 degrees. Because if a rhombus has a right angle, it would become a square. Properties of rhombus. Opposite angles are equal. As you can see in the picture, angle A is equals to angle C, and angle B is equals to angle D because the opposite angle of angle B is angle D and the opposite angle of angle C is angle A. All sides are equal. It's like square, all four sides are equal. Opposite sides are parallel to each other. Diagonals bisect each other perpendicularly. Perpendicular lines means that those lines that intersect each other at a right angle or 90 degrees. As you can see, the diagonals that bisect each other are at 90 degrees. Sum of any two adjacent angles is 180 degrees. Again, adjacent angles are two angles that have a common vertex and a common side but do not overlap. In sides, side AB is equals to side BC is equals to side CD is equals to side AD because all sides of rhombus are all congruent or equal. In diagonals, AO is equals to OC and DO is equals to OB. In angles, angle A is equals to angle C because the opposite angle of angle A is angle C, and angle B is equals to angle D because the opposite angle of angle B is angle D. Next is trapezoid. Definition of trapezoid. It is a quadrilateral with one pair of opposite parallel sides, also called its bases, and has two opposite non-parallel sides, also called as the legs. Properties of trapezoid. Angles next to each other sum up to 180 degrees. The bases are parallel to each other. Parallel means are lines that are always the same distance from each other and will never intersect or touch. Opposite side of a trapezoid, isosceles trapezoid, are of the same length. Take note, a trapezoid is isosceles if and only if the base angles are congruent. The median is parallel to both the bases. The median is in the middle part of the trapezoid. It is the one that half the trapezoid. There. It says that the median is parallel to both the bases. Again, parallel means are lines that are always the same distance from each other and will never intersect or touch, as you can see there in the picture. Take note, the difference between trapezium and trapezoid is that trapezoid has parallel sides while trapezium has no parallel sides. Next is kite. Definition of kite. It has 4 straight sides that has 2 pairs of sides. As you can see here, 1, 2, which makes 1 pair, 1, 2 makes 2 pairs. Each pair is made of 2 adjacent sides they meet that are equal in length. The angles are equal where the pairs meet. The dashed lines are diagonals which meet at a right angle. As you can see here, the diagonals are in the middle of the kite and they meet at a right angle or at a 90 degrees. And one of the diagonals bisect or cuts equally in half the other. As you can see here, this diagonal cuts the other diagonal. Properties of kite. 2 pairs of consecutive and congruent sides. Consecutive sides are two sides that have an endpoint in common. Congruent non-vertex angles. Congruent non-vertex angles are here in the left angle and the right angles, while the vertex angles are here in the bottom and top angles. Perpendicular diagonals. Perpendicular means that the diagonals meet at a 90 degrees or right angle. As you can see in this picture, side CB and side CD are congruent because they both have one line in the middle, and side BA and side DA are congruent because they have 2 lines in the middle. Where can we use quadrilaterals in real situations? Quadrilaterals are almost everywhere. Examples could be tabletop, picture frame, door, window, and many more. Quadrilaterals can be used in engineering and funeral directors. Quadrilaterals are used in electronic devices like mobiles, laptop, TV, and many more. Now, to finish off my presentation, again, quadrilaterals are shapes that have 4 straight sides. The shapes under quadrilaterals are trapezoid, kite, square, rhombus, rectangle, and parallelogram. Square, rhombus, and rectangle are special types of parallelogram because they have 2 pairs of parallel sides, but they are still called as quadrilateral because they have 4 straight sides. That's it for my presentation. Thank you for listening. Goodbye and God bless.